Do you believe that people should be left to get on and do what they're good at? And has that belief sometimes come back to haunt you? Yes, I understand where you're at and why that's happened, because like me, you're probably a laissez-faire type of leader. You believe that people have strengths, skills and expertise, and that they're capable of getting on and do the job that's been assigned to them. So join me today and we will delve deeper into what it means to be a laissez-faire leader. Hi, I'm Roxanne St. Clair, and today we're going to be talking about what it means to be a laissez-faire leader. I'll share some of my own personal experience with you, and in addition to that, we'll talk about some of the pros, some of the cons, because as you know, whatever we do in life, there's always some pluses and some minuses, and it's how we balance them and weigh them up that makes a difference for us respectively. So let's jump right in. So as I said to you before, I'm a laissez-faire style leader because I believe in people's ability to grow, people having potential, and letting people actually think for themselves. Because sometimes we have people that ask us to do something, then they don't let us just get on with it, and we can become demotivated, demoralized, because we feel that we're not being heard and not being listened to. So when you or I, as a laissez-faire leader, trust the people that we work with to be competent and able to deliver on the targets that have been set for them, we tend to take a step back. But that taking a step back for some people can be deemed to be us being aloof, us not being interested, us not caring about their well-being. But it's quite the opposite. It's that level of trust that we have, that we're so convinced that they're able to do the work, that we don't feel that we need to micromanage. And I know personally, I don't like being micromanaged. Hence the fact I do not like to micromanage others. But saying that, if I have to step in, I will, because I don't want to see people flounder either. It's just a case of giving people enough space and room to actually be creative, to be innovative about the challenges that come up. So helping them to actually feel empowered enough to make a decision, to try something and not be frightened of actually making a mistake, because we all do make mistakes and sometimes that's how we learn. So this is why I feel that being a laissez-faire leader ties into my belief in people's ability to grow and giving people autonomy on their own work. So what about yourself? How has that worked for you? Do you actually enjoy leaving people to get on with things and seeing their growth and helping them to see the growth for themselves also? Or do you actually get a bit worried, and although you've let go a bit, you're still tempted to sort of jump in just to make sure they're doing it right, or just to make sure that they're getting on with stuff? Because we know some people, they'd actually need to be externally motivated. They're not self-motivated. And if we leave them for too long, they become less and less productive. And that's one of the cons actually of laissez-faire leadership. If people haven't got that knack and that skill of self-motivating, self-regulating, self-managing, they can lose their level of productivity. And this isn't what we want. We actually want people to progress. So this is something I would encourage you to weigh up, and even just looking at your current situation, the teams that you may be working with at the moment. How do they produce their work? How do they perform? How do they gel as a team actually? Are they working well? As you know, have they sort of worked out the little nuances and they know how to bring the best out in each other? Or are you seeing that there's this vying for being the top dog, for want of a better term, feeling that because you're not actively involved, that there's space for one of them to step in as the leader, and therefore they're trying to navigate themselves into that role rather than doing the work that you're expecting them to be able to just get on and do? So these are some of the things that we face as laissez-faire leaders. As I said, on the outside, to some people it may seem that we're distant, not interested, but it's actually quite the opposite. We have quite high expectations, and we have a high level of trust in the people that we have working with us. And we probably, sometimes to our own detriment, and I know I've done this, we take people at face value, we take them at their word. If somebody says that they've got experience and the ability to deliver on a project, we give them that space and that opportunity. And yes, it means that us as the leaders, we do have to then take responsibility for that result, and for whether the result is achieved or not, we still have to be willing to take responsibility, because we were the ones that left people to get on with it. And yes, I've had that in projects where I have given people the space and the breadth to deliver, and they've delivered. May not have been totally what I expected and at the level, but they've delivered. And for that time of delivery, they feel good about their contribution. They know that they've been able to meet a goal. It may not have been the ultimate goal, but they've met a goal. So this has set the standard as such, but we can then build on that and work from that to actually say, well, what could work better next time? What did we do really well? But what did we not do as well? And how do we change that? How do we tweak that? So it gives us a benchmark of an area to work with. And this is particularly important if it's the first time you've worked with this person in your team. It's the first time you've given them that level of authority to own their own work. So these are some of the pros, the cons, some of my experience as a laissez-faire leader. What about yourself? Do share in the comments. How do you manage as a laissez-faire leader? What are the things that you enjoy about it? What are the things that you find challenging? Because we've opened up this conversation and see what we can learn from each other, how we can share, how we can improve things, and just generally have a conversation and open it up so that we can actually all connect with each other and see sometimes that we're not alone. We're not in this thing by ourselves. There are other people doing great work like us, or facing some of the same challenges that we face, and we can work together to see how can we get best practices together, how can we encourage our teams to perform at their best whilst we're performing at our best. So I'm going to say thank you for tuning in. Look forward to catching you on the next session, and if you've not already subscribed, do subscribe, because then you'll get notifications as to when the next video pops up. Okay, take care. Bye for now. Bye.